was bad. It's free. Ms. Megan is in the house.
Shush. You're full of shit.
Got a free Patreon Ask Me Anything starting momentarily. Just for those of you who didn't get the notification. On Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. Been a ridiculously difficult day to get material. Every time I turn around, it's something coronavirus, COVID. I sound like I'm drunk. COVID, corona, COVID. Yeah, I'm doing it on Thursday. You know what? The real reason why I'm doing the Ask Me Anything is, hey, Kathy, hey, Stevie, hey, Nate, Melinda, Aaron, the rest of you, Steve, is I'm having a difficult time coming up with material. Okay, I got a couple things, but of course they're corona related. Son of a bitch. We'll do our best. My corona.
And now, here's a guy who has never won a congeniality award at any radio station anywhere. I will fight you in the streets. It's the Eric Zane Show podcast with your host, Eric Zane.
Well, thank you, Johnny. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily podcast covering news, nonsense, and of course, my shenanigans. I have an open book to you all on a regular basis. Occasionally, I like to do Ask Me Anything. Now, for a guy who constantly is telling you what the hell is up with his life, I pretty much know, you know just about everything about me. Well, what the hell can we possibly ask him? Well, I don't know. I'm going to actually put that on you. Ask Me Anything. That is the forum. That is the basis for today's show. I do that reluctantly, but it was like, okay, I am really, really struggling to come up with things to talk about. I just spoke at length for an hour and 15 minutes on the free podcast about all of this things going on with COVID-19. Coronavirus. I can't figure out which one to say. I don't like saying COVID-19. Most say coronavirus, right? I don't know. I guess they changed it on us. But you know, even when I'm looking for more things to talk about, it's still inundating me. I looked at my work schedule for basketball. And I get an email, and it's from the league. The NBA has canceled the G League now. Well, suspended the games. I don't know if these are ever going to get played again. So, yeah, this affects me. You know, I depend on my time there. They pay me to be a contracted public address announcer. I don't have that anymore. Okay, great. Well, I pick up the pieces from that deal. That sucks. I was supposed to be recording the Hockey Heaven podcast today at 11:30 a.m. I got a cancellation on that too. Okay. The hockey team, the league, the American League has not yet canceled any games or suspended any play, nor has the National Hockey League. All right. You're going to see a Facebook video a little later on of me as you think of a question for the Eric Zane Show podcast. Ask me anything, and you can ask me anything. Anything at all. Even if you're a person who hates my guts, who is only here to cause trouble, you are encouraged to ask me anything. You're the ones I want to ask me things. Go ahead. Make me feel awkward. I'm throwing myself at your mercy. You can beat me up whatever you want. Ask me anything is the point. Certainly something in your big, beautiful brain has crossed your mind that you've wanted to ask me at some point. What was I going to say? I already forgot. Oh, no. Oh, I'll be doing a Facebook video. Did you see how it kind of like went in and out there? A little later on today to give you an idea of my shooting prowess, because I'll be with United States Army Major retired Steve Prince at where he does the CPL classes, doing a Facebook Live. Part of what I do for my clients is I like to put them in the spotlight and use that forum. So you'll be able to see how this goes down, at least from the setting of where you'll be. Steve is great. I love this man. He's one of the kindest, sweetest people that has ever walked the face of the earth. So just look for that. If you have it on I might be able to put it out on all my social media. Depends on if I bring the tripod or not. I don't see why I can't. I'm going to try. If not, it'll be on Facebook for sure. Hang on, I got to drink this. Remember, you're thinking up a question for Ask Me Anything. When I go to those the spot where I get my questions on the YouTube video, or you can, by the way, email eric@ericzaneshow.com if you don't want it out in the open. You can do that too. Just email it to me, or post your question on the YouTube stream. When I go to it, I want to see questions. I don't want to see you guys saying, "Hey, how are you? Hey, what are you doing?" Well, I'm over here picking my ass. Well, I'm doing this. You know that you gotta ask a question. You see how that works? You know. Hang on, I got to drink this. Okay, I am ready. But before I get to your questions, and I know there's dozens of them, right? Actually, let me take a quick peek so that I don't have anxiety. Okay. See a few. Not bad. Let me start by playing for you a little social media video off of Instagram by the son of Tom Hanks. He has two kids, Chet and Colin. Colin, I think I've spoken with. He had written a book or something like that, and he joined me on Freeburn Hot Wings with the guys, and we interviewed him, and I think it got a little weird when we brought up Chet. Now, Chet is that guy. He's a member of the family who, not exactly the most conventional way of going about his life. I think there had been a couple of issues along the way that I can't to speak of because I don't remember. But I'm pretty sure that that's what the case was. And I need to look no further than Chet Hanks' Instagram video where he does it. This is I guess Chet's probably about 30 years old. And he does it with his shirt off and his hat on backwards. He looks like he's a rap star. I think he has actually put material out, but he's talking about the health of his parents with no shirt on. This is Chet Hanks.
What's up, everyone? Yeah, it's true. My parents got coronavirus. Crazy. They're both down in Australia right now because my dad was shooting a movie down there. But I just got off the phone with them. They both are fine. They're not even that sick. They're not worried about it. They're not tripping, but they're going through the necessary health precautions, obviously. But I don't think it's anything to be too worried about. I appreciate everyone's concern and the well wishes, but I think it's all going to be all right. But I appreciate it, and just everybody stay safe out there. Much love.
Okay, so there you go. Not a big deal. One more request on the Ask Me Anything. If you could avoid the elaborate chatter between you guys, just because it makes it difficult for me to, because I have to read live, and that slows the momentum down of the podcast. So just bear that in mind for the remainder of this. The markets once again took a dump, and man, people are losing their asses. It's down. We were approaching 30,000 on the stock market, and the travel ban, people coming from Europe for the next 30 days cannot come into the U.S. That apparently is part of the reason why things have gone south today. Now it is nearing. They stopped trade, and I haven't looked at it in a while, so I don't know what's up. but they stopped trade as everything's in the shitter. From that near 30,000 mark that they were at on the stock market in the Dow, it's down to nearly 20. So you're looking at a 33% roughly of all of the wealth is just fucked. Now, for me, I don't panic about that shit. Part of me wants me to, but I don't. I think the bigger issue is the elderly, the ones who were like a month away from retirement. Hopefully they had their ducks in a row ahead of time so that they didn't get as much of a hit as somebody who might be trading aggressively. But that's also burning on everyone's mind. The fact that the market has taken a dump. This has thrown us into a bear market. It is recession, okay? This officially is recession numbers. So now it can come out of it, of course, as it always does. There is no need to do anything. Don't do anything. Don't call anybody. Don't look at anything. Leave it alone. Don't contribute to the problem. You still have the stock. It's just worth a lot less. It's going to come back. Buy more now while everything is cheap as shit. It's a yard sale out there. Buy it, and then in 3 months, when it's through the roof again, you will be much happier. My 2 cents, my public service announcement to not contribute to this problem by yanking all of your money out and putting it into a damn mattress or something else stupid like that. So now that we got that taken care of, Tom Hanks and his wife are okay.
You're full of shit.
Bullshit. You heard it from Chet. Oh, hang on. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. I got to meet with Gil Murray from Baldwin Ace Hardware at 11:30. We're going over to Mr. Burger. Going to slap high fives with people after licking our hands. Okay. Any word on car stickers yet? Nate said. Good question. No word. In fact, the last time we talked about it, I think was in this setting. And I forget what I was going to do to possibly get car stickers. No clue. I haven't done a damn thing. And it isn't that I don't want to. It's just, it has been a never-ending, unrelenting cycle of work that I have to do every single day just to get the show on. I've got numerous things that I'm supposed to do. There is Pellerito has been dogging me. Well, he's helping me with a new piece of software that he's researched that I had been wanting to install that would allow me to have a lot more capability on this show. I would have the ability with this software to be able to hit a button, and when I review a video, you can look at it with me. So if you're watching it live, you can engage in that thing. But oh boy, it's always like this. So no. That is the long answer. What breed is O'Neill? Love stories about your dogs, April writes. Well, I appreciate that. I love telling stories about my dogs, which, by the way, one of them snuck downstairs and took a dump that I had to clean up before I came up here. Again, another reason for every stitch of carpet to be out of this house. O'Neill, as far as I can tell, and he's down here on the ground, you can't see him, is a German Shepherd. He has the markings of a Shepherd, the length and the weight about of a Shepherd. He weighs 75 pounds now. The dog is really filled out. You can see his hind legs there. And also, what we can gather is Beagle and or Basset Hound. Now, I know he's got Basset Hound because those paws curve out with that big, enormous knee that those dogs have, and the legs are short, and the paws are enormous. They're like a lion's paws. And but that face appears to be Beagle, but it could also be Basset because Bassets have kind of like that pointy, similar to like a Beagle. And he's got the long ears like a Basset. But It's really a strange look. It's like, again, God had a bunch of leftover dog parts and just threw them together and said, here's O'Neill. All right. Where are we? Have the Griffins canceled games? No, not yet. My daughter is a registered nurse at the hospital. This is in Toronto, or in Tennessee, I'm guessing, and she is concerned about corona, has several patients with it. Kathy says, should I ask if you're stocked up on TP? It did come up. No, we have not. Is Costco out of TP? That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that toilet paper is really going fast. And of all the things you want to be out of, it's like, I mean, if push comes to shove, can't you just get up from the toilet and go in the shower? Let's see. Have you murdered any cereal lately? No, I gave it up for Lent. I have not. I haven't screwed that up once. Now, during the Lenten season, you do get Sundays off, and that is a thing. I didn't believe it at first, but it is a thing. You can actually take Sundays off for Lent because it's 40 days, and those Sundays don't count. I have no idea, but that's what they say. And so I did do it once. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Irish on Ionia has been canceled in West Michigan. That's a thing. That's a big thing. They're going to do it in the summer now. Let's see. Any questions? Just any okay, looking ahead. A lot of dialogue. On Freeburn Hot Wings, y'all interviewed Scott Foley. Do you mean Mick Foley? Y'all had a nickname for him, but I can't remember. What was it? Do you recall? I don't recall. If it is even who I think you're talking about. Here's my question. When are you going to call my folks about sponsorship? LOL. You know, you're right. I got to write that down. I might have to call you and get some more information on that, Kevin, because I forget just about everything from that conversation. Kathy says, why are they canceling all these big public events, yet they let everyone go vote? Great question. I think that the NBA, their cancellation with a player, Rudy Gobert, being having that illness, I think that there is some significance to that. But outside of that, I don't see why anyone else should follow suit. I don't know why the NBA G League is following suit. But I guess it is what it is. You know, it's done with the right intention. It isn't done because they want to be assholes. So I do understand a little bit of it, but it just sucks. It just sucks. But this too shall pass. We're all going to look back on this and go, wow, remember that? That was terrible. Of course, people are losing their lives, but, that happens every day. Megan says, which dog is your favorite? You know, these dogs, there isn't one of these dogs that I dislike. I love them all. Daisy's personality isn't the friendliest girl, but when she does give you her attention, you know she means it because she's a little flaky. She'll walk up to you and then you go to pet her and then she runs away. So she's a little weird like that. Bruce is the troublemaker of the bunch and drives me the most crazy. O'Neill is my favorite, but he eats poo. So that kind of brings him down a notch. I mean, if you think about it. Now, if he goes extended time without me seeing that he's eating the poo, I just fill in the blanks that he has or hasn't, depending on my mood. So either way, I don't let him touch me with his mouth. I mean, think about it. He eats poop. And then Benny. Now, Benny is just, I mean, these are all great things about these dogs that I love, but they all have their own problems. Benny can be an asshole and very protective of things like his baby and starts fights over things. So all these dogs have the drawbacks, but to me, O'Neill is A+ number one. Sorry, Bruce. I actually feel bad saying that in front of him. What's the phone number? Will you play messages again if people call in? I don't know. I don't even remember that phone number. It's probably full of voicemail messages right now. Zaniac Brian. Zane, you mentioned a co-host. If you could have whoever you wanted, who would it be? I'll get to the rest of that. Who would it be? I don't know. I am so wishy-washy about having a person in here. I would say that the people that I've had in here recently, I'll just go down that road. The people that I've had in here this recently, who I think could fit, but I'm not even going to say that they would or will or I mean could fit that I had a chemistry with right from the get go. Jason from Threads, I'll just say it. He's fun. He's a really fun guy, and the reactions to what I was saying, I took note of it, and I was getting some real tangible, normal responses from him that didn't seem faked. And he didn't try too hard. He was a dude that was in here playing Dale and Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer trivia. I thought that felt good. Brian also adds, very tough question. Who was the worst talent you ever had to work with? I think the person who had the least amount, well, that's really tough for me to park on that. Without it turning into a problem, I think. Because you see, here's the risk I run. I've worked with a lot of people. And some some you don't know. And I just don't want to incite anybody. I don't want to go down that road and be in that realm. You're the worst. It's a little too much. I think I'm just going to sidestep that. I think everybody that I've worked with has had tons of upside. And then for one reason or another, it didn't work out. Is that fair? I hope I hope you don't think I'm a pussy or something like that, but I want to get away from all that type of thing. Nate says, are you going to do another bowling party with Big Dick Donnie? Oh, I would love that. Yeah. So yes, I got Big Dick Donnie is, the guy is so busy. He's got so many things going on. He's usually behind the pins trying to fix those old contraptions at Howard City Lanes, which is like the first pin setter in the history of mankind. Yeah, definitely. We got to do that. I just had I've got a meeting that I'm going to schedule with a local company in Grand Rapids that, they throw axes at targets. Have you seen these guys? I was introduced to them from my friends at Blue Frost IT. I think that could be fun too. Axe party. Have you guys seen those things? And by the way, keep the questions coming on YouTube and via email, eric@ericzaneshow.com. Have you seen those orbs that you can get in and you like play soccer? The ones that we do when you like smash into people and they go flying. It looks like the worst thing in the world's happening to them, but they're okay. I want to do that. God, there's so much I want to do, but I can't even get stickers ordered. Ryan, do you think the American Hockey League will suspend? No, I don't. Stevie, have you ever heard from Julius? No. See, now if I elaborate, I'm probably going to get in the weeds again. So I'm going to try to keep this above board. No, I've not heard from old Julius. Kathy, spring's coming. Do you do your own lawn yard work or do you hire a lawn care service? No, I do it when I can do it. Faced with the issue of the backyard being covered in feces, there is a new way I've discovered of picking up the feces. You put on a glove. Most people already probably do this. I'm the last one to figure it out. It's a pain in the ass to go with the big shovel in one hand and the little shovel and scoop it up because you smash it or the rocks end up in the shovel. You throw away the decorative stone. The easiest thing to do is just pick it up with your fingers. The old poop claw game. And then I cannot believe I'm 50 years old in July and I've had a dog all of my life. And I am just now figuring out the ease of which you can pick up the poop doing this trick. Nate writes, are you going to trim your bushes like a giant crank again? I bet the neighbors loved it. It's still there. The reason why I stopped is because at the top of the bush, there was a baby bird's nest. So I had to stop. And when I stopped, what I had done was made the bush look like a dick, but it wasn't by design. I didn't set out to make it look like a dick, Nate. It just happened. And that thing's coming down this year, unless if there's another freaking nest in it. Mitchell, the tarantula farmer, writes, biggest pet peeve that Diana is guilty of. Please embellish. LOL. I have an answer. It's easy to say. It's burning right there. And what it is she smacks her gum. It's insane. She gets a piece of gum in there, and then you can just hear the moisture in her mouth colliding, that builds up on the gum, colliding with her teeth, and she just kind of gnaws on it with like an open mouth. So it'll be... Hang on. I'm like, stop it. Spit it out. There have been times when I held up my hand, I go, spit it. Like what a mommy does to like a 5-year-old. Give me the gum. Spit it out now. Oh, I'm like, how's that gum? Is it fun to make that noise? Is it fun to drive everyone around you insane? Damn it. Stevie says, will you do a Patreon video of the dogs having an Easter egg hunt? So what, do you want me to like put rabbit ears on them and have them run around and looking for treats? Is that what this is? If you want me to, I will. Well, I'll say I am. But like the stickers, I probably won't. Nate says, do you have a list of the best meathead-isms? I wish. Jim used to keep track of them when we had him here in the home. That was awesome. I would love to be able to look at them. I kind of write everything down in this book. Like the other day, what did he say? Wife is a defensive type. Your wife is a defensive type of mechanism, which is just something. He says these things, and it's so great. I can't wait for you people to see the Facebook Live that we're going to do on Sunday, a live version of Dad with Dear Meathead for his birthday. I want you all to watch that. I'm guessing that will be at around 4-ish. I'll let you know. He says that the Meathead-isms would make an awesome shirt. Yeah, I know. Stevie says, yeah, you got to do it. Kathy says, speaking of pet peeves, after grocery shopping, do you return your shopping cart to the cart corral or leave it where you are parked? I always return it to the cart corral. I'll do you one better. When I get out of the car, I usually grab one out of the cart corral and bring it into the store so that there's more space for more carts or less work for the poor son of a bitch who has to bring them in. However, most of the time I shop at Aldi, where they're all put away anyway, or similar to like what they have on the East Coast with Stop and Shop. You put the coin in the thing and you must take care of your own cart. That's how you get lower prices in your store. Okay, great idea. I don't know why everybody doesn't do that. Such an easy thing to take care of. Of course, then somebody else loses a job. The guy who does that, he didn't want that job anyway. He's like, I'm glad you do it. I want another job. Give me another shitty job. Put me in bottle return or whatever it is. All right. Yeah, Aldi's great. All right, let me go to the email, see if there's anything. Because we might be scraping the bottom of the barrel already on an Ask Me Anything. Stockpile of AMA. Melinda writes, I followed your advice and created a list a couple of months back of stuff that has popped in my head that I then jot down. That is awesome. Boy, that is so sweet of you. You are really excellent, Melinda. She's commandeering this thing. How great is that? She writes, Eric, if you were to get another tattoo, where on your body would you get it and what would it be? Oh, I don't know. I do like it when I see people with the like sleeves on their arm. I always thought that looked cool. Anything on the arm, I think looks good. Anything that says, "Hey, I'm tough." But for me, that would be a strange combination because I'm not. So, or I could be all reflective and put like my kids' names on it or my grandkids but I don't know why. If I were to get another tattoo, it would probably be on my arm. Do you feel like getting fired has changed you? Yes, to some degree. I know that there is a different set of rules in the workplace that if I ever have the opportunity to be in a workplace setting, knowing that everyone at a workplace is usually beyond sensitive and will not be slowed down at an opportunity to end you. That absolutely, that is fair game now. That is the way of the world these days. You better be yes, sir, no, sir, eyes forward, and shut your mouth. If you don't, especially in radio, you will not make it. That's what I'm learning. That's what I've learned. And that might also not be good enough. Case in point with the iHeart firing, where just, thousands of people were just laid off in an instant for no particular reason. Nothing to do with performance or attitude or anything like that. It was all just dollars and cents. So in that regard, for sure. And it's changed me because it has made me invent something new, do something different, come up with a way to sustain oneself. It's made me more independent. So one thing is a negative thing. The second thing is a positive thing. I'm very, very happy with how that change has taken place. I don't need to step foot into another scenario like that ever again if I don't feel like it, as long as you're here and I am able to speak or think, I guess. You used to be, Melinda, I can't read, sorry. You used to be so hardcore mean to folks on Free Beer and Hot Wings, and now you have guilt over being mean back in the day. I think that's referring to the first part of it. I have some things that I look back on. I'm like, I probably shouldn't have done that. So I don't know if that's like real guilt. Maybe I've said that, but I don't know if it's quite that bad. When it comes to how I was on that show, you have to understand that was at a time when that wasn't really a thing where people would there are people that would say stupid things on the radio all the damn time, and my job was to do that. I was the guy who had the job of just go in there and do that. And now the other guys kind of have to navigate those moving pieces that I am throwing out there onto the board, but somebody's got to do it. And if you don't have me doing that, you kind of have a show that, you have a show that is kind of just like all the other shows. So there was a method to the madness. I wouldn't wake up every day and say, I'm mad and I'm going to go attack people. It was all done to be an amplification of a normal personality that would draw attention and generate talk and conversation and in a lot of cases, something funny. Because I was often told that, hey, you're the guy who says what I'm thinking, but I don't have the nerve to say to people. So when I would say somebody's a stupid asshole or an idiot or something like that, I know that everybody listening is thinking that. Like when some moron calls who can't put 3 sentences together, and it's frustrating to the listener, and they're like, God, I wish this guy would shut up. And then out of my mouth, they hear, hey, has anybody ever told you that you talk like an idiot and you should shut up and not talk to anyone anymore? Terrible, yes, but funny as shit. That's what moved the meter. That's why the show became what it was. I don't like to toot my own horn. Well, no, I take it back. I do like to toot my own horn, but if the three of us aren't doing our jobs, that show doesn't exist. I know that sounds weird to say, but if Greg doesn't do things the way he does them, and Hot Wings doesn't do things the way he doesn't do them, and I don't do what I just said I do to you, it's just those two kind of doing that. Let's say I'm not on the show and it's just those two doing their thing. It would be weird. If Greg's not there and it's just Hot Wings and I, and I'm being an asshole and Hot Wings is doing what he's doing, we've all agreed that it would take the three of us. So I'm proud of the job I did on that show in hindsight. We worked together to make it what it is. So no regrets, none at all. What are your thoughts on global warming? Well, it sure is hard to argue with the fact that the temperature is increasing. It's hard to argue with why it's increasing. Hard to argue. What I'm not convinced about, though, is when people say, this will happen. This will take place. I don't hold much stock in any of that. So I hope that answers your question. What was the worst Joe stunt in your opinion? Well, they were all pretty great. I'll have to come back to that one. How did Situation start? Situation. My dad, he would say Situation. He said it so much that we started to do that because he would always say, "Oh, with your situation, your situation." He just something that has become a crutch for him. Kind of like the word embellish was a crutch for him until we told him he said it. Shouldn't have said anything. When are you going to get some glasses? Well, okay, to be sure, Melinda, I can see fine from far away. It's just up close. So if I'm looking at something up close and I have glasses on, and then I look at you and the glasses that are then make it so it's blurry. That's what, if I have a pair of readers that I get at Walmart and I'm looking at, because this is blurry right now. I gotta look at it like this. But if I look at you and I still got the glasses on, then that camera's blurry, and I don't like that. So, I don't know. Maybe I might get a magnifying glass. How does that sound? Whatever happened to the Polish King? If that's the right name. That was the dude. I forgot how we got. He was driving around with Polish King on his back windshield. I do know people who know Polish King, and I think Polish King got in a little bit more trouble with his driving, and he was being targeted because of the Polish King on the back of the vehicle. I think he took it down off of the vehicle, and though still Polish and though still a king, I don't know if he touts that anymore. All right, hang on a second. Melinda, you're doing a great job. Kevin, speaking of iHeart firings, tonight at 7, the Twisted Bull on Eastern is having a We Miss Conrad party. How nice. Kevin adds, Polish King is alive and well, delivering for the company my dad works for. That is awesome. Great timing. Pellerito, great question. Which Code Brown was your most memorable? You have more incidents of this than any grown man should. What one was the worst? Well, I'll start with this, Mike. The worst was driving to the Knoxville Civic Coliseum in Knoxville to the hockey game wearing the white pants. Could not turn around because I'd have been late to the rink to do PA. And I browned my pants and I'm sitting in it in the seat. And it went through my underwear and through my pants and onto the seat. And the white pants had the brown patch of diarrhea on it as I walked through the parking lot of the Coliseum. I went into the barn and then went into the shower and took my pants off and threw the underwear away and washed my butthole in the shower with people seeing me doing it. I mean, think about that. Put the filthy shit-covered I should have put on a pair of hockey pants. I put on the poop pants. And then I had a long sleeve similar to this zip up here and put it around my waist and tied it so you couldn't see the poop. And then the scorekeeper, I remember I'm sitting next to this guy, the scorekeeper, his name was Buzz. I'll never forget it. And I'm there doing PA and I'm holding the mic up. And then he goes, it's like midway through the second period. He goes, yeah, it's been smelling quite bad in here. It's like there's a fart, but it's been all the time. It's like a fart that stayed here the whole time. And I'm just waiting for him to say, almost like there's shit in the room. And I'm like, really? I didn't smell anything. I didn't smell it. No, I don't know. Maybe it's this guy. I can't smell it. Smells good to me. Oh, so bad. Most memorable was Honduras, though. I mean, you got to understand. I went up to the second floor of that complex there. It was on a Sunday. Nothing was open except for the security firm, and the big black dude says, "You're not coming in here. I know you got to take a dump." I'm like, oh, come on, man, let me in. No, I'll kick your ass. Get out of here, you stupid idiot. So I left. I ran down the street, went down a side street, and in the middle of the road, because I was afraid I'd get some disease, I took this gnarly ass dump right in the middle of the road and wiped my ass with some giant waxy leaf. God dang it. Oh, terrible. Good thing they have big leaves there. Would your dad be upset to know we love to laugh at what he says, not making fun of him? Just what he says is so hilarious. I don't think he would be upset. If he was feeling like he was being made fun of, I'd be able to tell. And he's not being made fun of, as you all know. I mean, I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I was making fun of my poor dad. Eric, think about you when you were 25. Describe your life. All right, let's go through this. When I was 25, that would be March. Today's the 13th. 1995. I was 2 months short of 1 month. I was basically 1 month away from the birth of my first child. I lived in Midland, Michigan, in a small 990 square foot home that I purchased. My first house. Diana was very pregnant. She had a short haircut like you might see one of the chicks on Friends have. We were both stressed. We didn't make any money, kind of like now. And again, very, very pregnant. We were anticipating the arrival. In fact, I'm pretty sure that at about this time was when I moved, or pretty close to it. I remember moving into this home. I may have been in this home at this point, or I may have been in the process of moving. Yeah, that's right. Move right before a child was born, but we wanted to be in that house. So it was right at about this time. So there was a lot of concern, stress, and that was an awful time because then a month later, we almost lost Jim upon his birth. So it's hard to believe that it was almost 25 years ago. Just a few weeks away from that being the time. My hair was dark. It was exciting. I look back very fondly on those moments. I remember the good times more than the bad times. Melinda says, why? Her final question. And by the way, great job on this, Melinda. You've owned the segment. Why haven't you looked for a radio job in a different market? Well, I don't want to move. I have deep roots here. So I would rather do anything. Besides, it's radio. And, that's a temporary gig. And it's not the easiest thing to do is to get a radio job. And I'm known here. I have been able to spend enough time here that I have this footprint of my name, which has enough value to it that I can eke out a living. If I move to another town, I'm back to square one. So the equity that I've earned from the name is worth enough that it would keep me here. I couldn't radio. I wouldn't move for radio again unless it was. If Howard Stern sent me an email and said, "Hey, look, I want you on my channel" or something like that. Well, that's something entirely different. Well, frankly, if anybody called me, I'd listen to them. I'd at least listen. What do you have, or what are you thinking? And I'll tell you what I think. But the beauty of that is I don't have to really. I'm not enslaved to that anymore because of you, the audience. I try to make that point as much as possible. I have to be at Mr. Burger at 11:30 Eastern time for my pal Mike from Baldwin Ace Hardware. We're supposed to get together. So I still got a little bit of time. So if you have any questions you've been thinking of, by all means, write them in the comments on YouTube, or you can fire off an email as quickly as you can, eric@ericzaneshow.com. 40 ounce says, Zane, do you still keep in touch with Hipster Joe? I've still to this day, I'm singing Tales from the Canopy. God, I can't believe you remember the name of that. Hipster Joe works at iHeart, and I did have plenty of interactions with him when I did work there for that short amount of time. He seems very happy. His hair is super long. He's got this enormous beard now, and his hair is long, and it's big and red. He looks like one of the Wildings from Game of Thrones. He's doing pretty good. It was kind of a shitty scenario for him at Cumulus. He didn't have the best setup there, and it was good that he moved on. He is one of the key behind-the-scenes people for a show called West Michigan's Morning News with Steve Kelly on Wood AM and FM. Nate, any other great stories about your dad when he beat the shit out of the guy you worked with? Oh, Dana. Yeah, that was a hell of a moment. There have been a lot of moments like that. Oh, boy. You know, when it comes to those stories about my dad, for me to sit here and rack my brain over one usually means I'm not going to think of it. Something else has to usually jog it into place before I start do you remember the time? And maybe as I talk, something will pop. Now, I just remember being a little bit scared of him when we were growing up because occasionally that temper would flash. And, you know, it did keep me on my toes. Of course, he only lived with me until I was 8. From that, so I don't have too many memories of him actually at the house. Okay, you see, this is how it goes. One time, before my mom and dad split up, we lived in this smaller house in Warren. And I remember being in bed and hearing a loud bit of, it can only be described as a ruckus, like something was falling or had been dropped. And it kind of resonated throughout the walls of the home. No matter where you were in the home, you knew that something strange happened in the house. And so when you're 5, 6 years old and you're like, what? Something odd. And it woke me up, and I was in the room with my brother, and my brother Jim and I slept in one room. The other two brothers slept in the other room. I get up, Jim and I look at each other, and Jim's 9, I'm 5, and like, what the fuck? And then Mike and Paul are 10 and 12 years older than me. They come out of their room. Like, what the hell is going on? And then my mom gets up, and no dad. We don't know where the hell he is. Well, my mom had gone to bed because my dad wasn't home, and then she woke up and he still wasn't in bed. And so then the phone rings. This is the story. And it's my dad calling my mom from a payphone, and he's shit-faced, and he doesn't know where he is. They're, come and get me. I don't know where the fuck I am. He has no idea where he is. So my mom sends a friend of the family out to try to find him where she thinks he is near his work. And sure as shit, the guy finds my dad wandering around in the vicinity of this payphone and gets him and brings him home. And he apparently comes in the house, and my mom says, all right, Rob, I'm going to bed. I don't need this shit. And she goes to bed. And so my dad decides he's still going to do his thing. So he decides that he wants to get a few more beers and go down the steps. Well, he fucking fell. And he, boom, boom, all the way down the steps. And he hits the bottom. And what had happened was the railing, it broke. So that long pole that goes along the steps, And he's laying at the bottom of the steps, and the beers are busted open. And the bar is like laying across him, and my mom's screaming at him, "You drunk fuck!" She's screaming at him at the top of the steps, like, "I'm gonna be okay. I'm okay, Bernie. I'm all right." Oh my God! And I remember actually getting up after hearing that and wandered over to the top of the steps, and my mom's cursing at him, saying every name, calling him every name in the fucking book, and he's at the bottom, his lips bleeding, his eyes black, he looks like shit. And I remember seeing my dad there. So that was probably 1975, which is what, 45 years ago. So that would make him, he's going to be 86 next week, 46. So what, about 40, 41 years old, ballpark? I have no idea. Incredible. Whew. Man. All right. I think that might do it. Let me check the inbox one more. All right. That's going to do it, folks. I appreciate you. You are awesome as always. Good luck on this day in Corona. Try not to panic. This too shall pass. Everything's going to be okay. And I'll be back with you tomorrow. How does that sound? Together we'll get through this nonsense. That isn't Ask Me Anything. Spread the word about the Eric St. Joe podcast. If you like the Patreon, keep it in mind. Throw $5 or $10 a month at me, and I'll give you more podcasting. Add it to your repertoire. Thank you, folks. I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.